Hello, Steve Mills here, and it's great to be back on my podcast, all about improving the results in your business. And today I wanted to talk to you. In fact, I want to ask you a question because only you really know the answer. And the question is around what are the three biggest impacts that you could have on your business right now? So what I mean is, if you're in business, then, unless you're one of those businesses right now that's doing fantastically well, you sell hand sanitizer or face masks or something like that, and business has never been, better. You're just absolutely rolling in money and your only problem is delivering the service or providing the products and getting them in the post and counting the money in your bank. If you're not one of those businesses and you're one that's maybe a little bit worried, things are not going great, you've perhaps lost some customers, you're worried about losing some more, and you just feel as though no matter how you market yourself, you're just not really getting any traction. You're not really managing to create the number of leads and convert the number of leads that you used to. If you are like that, then you're probably not alone. It's probably the same feeling that a lot of businesses have got in a lot of different industries right now due to COVID and the media and the government and the economic situation, a whole load more reasons, about people's fear and we're constantly bombarded in the media telling us how awful everything is. And so we believe it and we stop buying, surprise, surprise. But anyway, all that said, let me just talk to you about, the three biggest things that you could do in your business right now that would have the biggest impact. And when I say an impact, I'm talking about ultimately helping your business to grow, or at least helping your business to survive these next months, perhaps even up to a year. Will your business even be around in a year's time? Well, if you're like most businesses, then it'll only be around if you manage to create enough sales. Unless you're like an accountant where they've got an amount of clients and all right, they might lose a few clients, but, pretty much those clients are going to stay with them for the next, 20 years. And if you're not in one of those businesses, then, you got to create some sales. You got to also obviously think about the quality of the service that you're providing and make sure that you're not only getting customers, but keeping customers as well. So, all that said, let's just for a moment think about the three biggest implications, the three biggest things that you could do to improve your business. Now, the first thing is to identify what they are. So if I was sat with you right now and I said to you, okay, tell me, what are the three things that you're going to do in the next month that's going to have the biggest effect on helping your business to grow? What would they be? Now, they could be, I'll just give you some examples of things you might want to think about. They could be things like, obviously, your marketing. You could say, well, I'm going to improve my marketing. Or it could be, I'm going to get more sales in, because the marketing and sales are sort of, in my mind, they're slightly different. Marketing is generally about lead generation, unless, of course, you're selling, on an e-commerce site, then marketing is actually sales and marketing. But generally speaking, it's about generating leads. And sales is about converting those leads from a lead into a meeting, into a proposal perhaps, and then into a sale. So if we divide those two things up there, so we've got two keys to growing there. Another one might be making sure that you're satisfying your customers. You're providing a good enough service, perhaps even a better service than you did before, in order to make sure those customers stay with you, stay loyal, and keep buying the service that you offer. So that's great, and if that's you, then, go ahead and take action on that. However, it might also be pertinent for you to think about digging down a little bit. So if we said, rather than saying, right, I'm going to improve my marketing, which is perhaps a huge undertaking, it might be better to, dig down a bit and say, right, okay, well, what am I doing in my marketing? Well, I'm on LinkedIn. I'm doing a bit of email marketing. I'm turning up at some online networking events. And I got a website. And perhaps I'm paying a little bit of money into Google or Facebook advertising. And by the way, I'm doing a bit of social media. So if I said to you, well, what is the biggest, the top 3 things within that would give you the biggest potential increase in business? You might say, well, if I really stopped saying I don't understand how to use LinkedIn and actually got some training in it and did some work on it, then that might have a really big impact, Steve. Yeah, you're absolutely right. What about if I said, well, my website doesn't really win any business and I haven't really promoted it and I'm not really getting very much traffic. So what I was thinking I really ought to try and focus on, Steve, is how to get more people to my website, because I'm only getting, like 200, 300 people a month. And if I could get perhaps up to 1,000 or 2,000 people per month, then that might win me some business. So again, that's 2 good ideas, isn't it? Now the question is obviously how to do that, and I've not got time in this podcast to go into everything that you can do in that. I'm just trying to get you thinking about what it is you're going to do. Another one could be, if you're doing email marketing, you could do something like say, right, okay, well, I'm going to improve my headlines on my email. I'm going to improve the words that I'm using in my email. I'm going to actually try and get more people onto my database so that instead of, sending out an email to 500 people, inside 6 months, I'm going to have built that up to 5,000 people. That might get me more business. The other thing I'm going to do on email marketing is because I use technology, I know that when I send out my 500 emails, that I'm getting about 40 of them opening the email up, reading the email, and then clicking and going to my website or going to a blog post or going to a video and finding out more. I'm going to phone those people up. What a great idea. I'm going to phone those people up who I know have expressed some sort of interest because they've opened it up, they've read it, they've clicked on a link, they've gone and read some more stuff or watched a video, and therefore they're hot to trot and somebody who may be interested in what we do. So I'm going to call those people. So you get the idea, as again, I've not got time to go through everything, on this podcast, and you probably wouldn't want me to talk about stuff that's not relevant. But what I want to get you doing is, number one, identifying what it is what are your 3 biggest things. Number 2, dig down and actually put some sort of plan in. Just don't say, well, I'm going to improve my marketing. Because if you said that, then, yeah, okay, that's great. But what about it? What are you going to do today? You can't improve all your marketing today. You can maybe focus on LinkedIn, for a few days. You can focus on something else after that, and so on and so forth. So it's about putting I suppose at the end of the day, a marketing and or a sales plan together. Because it might be that you're getting loads of leads. You've got loads of leads in your CRM system, and I'm hoping that you've got one of those. Customer relationship management software, because if you haven't, you need to get one of those. HubSpot's brilliant, by the way. That's the one I use, and there's a version of it that's free. So go and get yourself signed up to HubSpot.com and gain access to their free software. It's an absolute no-brainer if you're not using software. There's even an app for your phone, so you've got all your contacts with all their details, all their email and telephone number on the app, on your phone, 24/7. And, you're never without your database of customers, and you can simply phone them up straight from the CRM system. So it's really cool. So, there's a whole range of things that you can do, no doubt, to have the biggest impact on your business. So what are the top 3 and what are you going to do? That's ultimately what I want to get you focusing on. So that's it. That's the podcast today. I hope it's been of value, but like all things marketing, in fact, all things in life generally, learning new stuff makes no difference whatsoever to your business until and unless you implement. And what most people do when they implement, they do a little bit. They don't do enough. They just do a little bit. It's like people go to the gym, they sign up to the gym, and then they go down there a couple of times a month. That you save your money. Don't bother, because it ain't going to get you fitter. You've got to be at that gym on a regular basis. You've got to be at the marketing gym. When was the last time you did any sales training? I do it every day, never fail. Every day, even at the weekends. Every time I'm in my car, I do sales and or marketing training or business development, business growth training. Every day. You may say, well, you're sad, Steve, and you could be right. But what I am is I've managed to get, certainly for now, a good level of success by doing this. So, that's all I've got to say. So if you want to know more from me, I'd love to be able to help you further. I really would. So if you're a subscriber to this podcast, and I know now we've got nearly 4,000 people have subscribed to this podcast, which is brilliant. So I sincerely thank you for that. And it's great that you're involved. But what I want is for you, I want to help you more than just listening to me on a podcast. So what I'd like you to do is to come along and take the next step, really. Come along to my online training. If you go to my website, which is stevemills.co, you can access my website. I can do some training with you on that. You get even more great ideas. And at the end of that, you're allowed to book a one-to-one with me. You need to do the webinar before you book a one-to-one. So I need you to book the webinar, spend the time on the webinar, and then let's do a one-to-one. And, it'd be great to meet you, find out about your business. I'll give you some great ideas that are totally relevant to you and your business. And then if you think that we can help you further, then of course we would love to do that. So that's about it for now. Thank you ever so much for listening. Don't forget, book your place on the webinar, stevemills.co, big orange button right in the middle. You can't miss it. And speak to you soon. Thanks very much for listening.